Jordan, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you so much for being here. Also, I can't help but notice your last name. There's no relation, is there?
No, sadly.
Oh, what a great conversation starter, though, if you ever were in a room with her.
Right? Exactly. My conversation starter for you is like everyone else, I was very surprised to discover that your accent in Touch Me is not, in fact, an affectation after seeing you for years on Orphan Black.
You know what's crazy is I still get that. Like it's been, I think Orphan Black's been off the air for 10, almost 10 years, but still to this day, I think maybe just because the show was a little niche and even though it felt like we were doing press all the time and we had so many like Comic-Con panels and so many press junkets, I think the average person, I think industry, like, agents or managers or it's some industry people know, but no, to this day, it still happens.
Now, like that show had its horrific elements, and you had a small role in a Child's Play movie
I
years
did.
ago, but this is your first like full-fledged horror movie. What was it like for you, like exploring this aspect of genre?
It was so fun. It was so much fun. I really buddied up to the Russell effects guys because there was so much practical magic on this movie. There's very little visual effects, and that was what Addison wanted from the from the creative. So I was kind of just jazzed to be covered in blood and and to work with puppets because there is the kind of a massive puppet in the movie, and then there was a little bit of forced perspective work that they did after to sell the effect. But I loved it so much. I love being scared. I love that genre, and I found this even in Orphan Black, which I think is kind of my sweet spot, maybe as a performer. Every character I have kind of has to have a sense of humor. I've never played I've never played in a sandbox or played a person that is just absolutely morose or just unfunny. And those characters are so important. They're so important to narrative, and I love them. There was nothing funny about Hamnet. Like they're so crucial. But I think my instincts always just kind of lead me in the direction of trying to mine the sense of humor out of a character. And what I love about horror is that it kind of just sits at this lovely intersection of operatic extremes, high drama, high stakes drama, life or death, and then also total comedy. And I I just kind of dig riding that rail.
I was a big fan of your work, and also that of Olivia Taylor Dudley, your co-star, who plays
Thank you.
your bestie in it, as well as Addison's previous short film, The Blue Diamond, that they wrote. Were you familiar with everyone you were working with when you came into this project?
So I was familiar with mainly I was familiar with Addison and Lou. I was familiar with Addison because my husband Devin Gray, he did Hypochondriac for Addison, which was Addison's first film with Zach Villa, and they played South by, and I think a couple of it was kind of it was a very special sort of debut because the film was really successful for a freshman feature. And I had actually met up with Addison to talk about another project entirely. And he was in the throes of casting this movie. And he kind of pitched me the idea. I was about to get on a plane to go to see some friends in England because they were getting married. And I'd left the coffee being like, I really hope casting works out. Like, I hope that you find people for this movie because it sounds so great. And then a few weeks later, I got an offer for the film. And I was like, well, I have to do this. Like, yeah, I remember what the pitch was, a narcissistic alien named Brian. I really didn't need anything more than that. But I also knew Addison was really talented, and I knew he was going to make a great movie. And then when I found out Lou was involved, my first job was at Blockbuster Video, and I used to take full advantage of the like 10 free rentals a week for any person over the age of 35 that remembers that. And I remember watching Lou in Thumbsucker. He was in like Evil Dead. I just he's got such a unique presence, and he's among actors so respected that as soon as I found out he was doing the movie, I was thrilled. I wasn't I wasn't familiar with Liv's work, but I knew her name and we kind of ran in peripheral social circles. But from the moment I met her, I fell in love with her. Like, wanted to run off into the sunset. Like, loved her so much.
Now, this your role in Touch Me requires a lot of physicality. Like there's some dancing, there's some there's some movement.
There is some
Um,
damn.
what was it? What are the challenges for that in addition to like having like sticky things going on?
Oh God, just battling your nerves. Honestly, with respect to the dancing, like I was a gymnast when I was young, but not in anything that required choreography. I have good control over my body, and I've done physical work from a character point of view. Felix on Orphan Black obviously required quite a different physicality. And I used some animal work to try and find him, but I'd never done anything that sort of required by the numbers choreography or more finite physical performance. And little things too, like it just never occurred to me watching any of the movies that I've been big fans of over the years, but like stabbing someone in the face. Like obviously you're not stabbing them in the face, but like, just the precision required to get the shot so that it doesn't look fake, but you're clearly not actually, you can't actually stab a person. You can't even go full speed because you might injure yourself or you might hurt somebody else or you might damage, the prosthetic or there's so many things that, so many technical things, technical hurdles to navigate on top of your performance. So I think it's just the nerves of having to spin two plates at the same time. It's one thing to be in a scene emotionally, and it's quite another to then also juggle the technical components on top of it. Not unlike, motion control work or working with CGI, but it is a challenge.
Given that this movie premiered a year ago, over a year ago
Yeah.
at Sundance, um, how is it for you revisiting this after it's been on the festival circuit for a while and is now getting its full-fledged release?
Wonderful. Whether it takes a year or 2 years or 5 years for films to find distribution, and I happen to have, film family that has made movies that uh, did quite a run, an impressive run at different festivals, and really struggled to find a distributor for one reason or another because um, the the landscape for film sales is tough. I just think it's like such an achievement that it's happening, even if it's a year later. I cannot. I will talk about this movie. I'm so proud of this film. I will talk about it for the next decade if anyone hands me a microphone because I really, really, I think it's kind of great. And it's of course like it's genre and genre is divisive and not always for everybody. But as a fan myself, and as a fan of anime like Perfect Blue or certain Japanese pink films or really cutting edge horror, even historically, like from decades past. I'm just really proud of this movie and so proud of Addison and everybody for showing up the way that they did.
And I'm so happy that it's finally coming out so that I can talk to people about it. I have a
Yes.
friend who saw it on the festival circuit
Where
last
did
year.
you see it?
I mean, I got a screener of it, but like a friend of mine saw it, I think, as part of maybe Panic Fest or something like that
Right.
last year, and has been wanting me to see it so that we can talk about it, and now we can, and I'm very excited about it. Uh,
Uh,
Jordan, I
that
want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. This has been absolutely delightful, and I can't wait for everybody to get to see Touch Me.
Thanks, Nick. It was so nice talking with you. Thanks for championing the movie.